on in and sit down. You cut the hardcore crew chewing the fat. You cut us shooting the shit. You cut us in the moment.
Another Impact tape.
Yeah. Let's be realistic. Slammiversary, which was supposed to be TNA's WrestleMania, was not by any means a pay-per-view quality match. It was crap. It was crap-iversary, as we want to call it, not Slammiversary. And you know what? While we're in the moment, EY, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, fired up on Twitter, and this is after a fan criticized him for calling Slammiversary. Pretty much went on a short Twitter war with the fan. It's been since deleted. He said, quote, "The real world. If you watched Slammiversary 2015 and didn't like it, go fuck yourself." Now, Joe, you and I talked about this before, and you said that as a wrestler, you shouldn't really be saying that because that's really bad PR. And I said, I kind of went to EY's defense because Eric Young, I can understand that. He's frustrated. He's working in this company that's really going to shit, and nobody's really backing him up. Your thoughts?
Well, let's be honest. There is a point where, believe me, there's no problem with defending the company you love. But at the same time, you represent that company. Good or bad, you have to keep your P's and Q's, and you have to literally be the better person, the bigger man. And EY could have said, you know what, you're entitled to your opinion. I know we all busted our asses on that show. We could, if you liked it, you did. If you didn't, I'm sorry, but, keep watching TNA. There's better ways to say it. Yes, there could have been many different ways of expressing yourself. No matter what, he represents TNA, good or bad. And it's pretty bad. And you still got to represent and just don't never say stuff like that because it's going to bite you. And apparently it did bite him.
This is true, but you know what? I mean, now, I'm going to step out because, granted, HWR, we are not a professional wrestling show. I mean, we probably never will be, but we always say it all the time. If you don't like our show, don't fucking listen. Get the fuck out. We say don't let the door hit you in the ass all the time. Andy, you know what? You stand behind too. If you don't like it, come on here. We'll insult you some more, Andy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about EY and his comments?
I didn't see the comments, although I've heard them mentioned. I agree with Joe on this one. He's a professional sportsman, and he should be more in control of what he does. I think that's why the WWE tend to monitor what their guys put. In fact, I don't even think the WWE guys actually type their own shit anyway. Don't want to burst any bubbles, so that's what they have PAs for. He's probably done more harm than good, not only to TNA's reputation, but his own reputation, because I can guarantee if it's been pulled, it's probably been brought to somebody in the hierarchy, someone even above Dixie Carter, and said, right, let's get him in the office and have a word. So he might have signed his own death warrant, I don't know, because they're after any excuse to get rid of people.
Well, I don't think they're really after any excuse to get rid of people, because let's talk about it. People in TNA are walking out the door like crazy. And Joe, I know this is something that we've also been talking about. We've been talking about TNA over the past weekend. There's been a lot of news going on about releases. James Storm, Magnus, Gunner, Shaw, and of course Loki. Austin Aries, he's kind of up in the air. We've heard of all these people been taking bookings. Now, Magnus and Storm are now heading over to Global Force Wrestling. And if you ask me, I'm wondering if Gunner and, Storm and Magnus, if that's going to be a little bit more kayfabed. And I want some of your thoughts about all these walkouts or releases. Joe, your thoughts?
It's a very difficult thing because, they're playing it off. Some of them are leaving because for justifiable reasons. They're tired of the late pay. They're tired of being jerked around. There are legitimate cases. Now, could this situation with them joining Global Force, because Storm and Magnus did join global force. I think that could be storylined because let's face it, you don't leave one company to join the same company back. It's like people leaving the WCW to join the NWO. Jarrett, I think he had a very interior motive for appearing on TNA's television. He found a way to use Dixie's money again, because remember, Rick, we talked about this. Jarrett doesn't have money. He needs outside funds to keep his company going. And in this case, I'm guessing he probably realized, crap, I'm not going to have enough money. Maybe if I suck up to Dixie or try to get back in TNA, play it off that I can raise her stakes or raise the ratings by doing this invasion angle, which has now become it's become fact now that they're actually going to do that. You're pretty much looking at a situation where these guys supposedly leaving, it's now just joining the same company. To me, I can't understand these people. They really need professional help, because what they're doing for the company, what they're thinking, it's going to help TNA. This is not going to help TNA, and I don't care how many TNA Mark fans out there are saying, well, it's going to help TNA. No, it's not. TNA cannot be helped by bringing another faction in there. To me, it's just ridiculous. The people that are legitimately leaving, they're tired of the bullshit. They're tired of the pay not coming on time or not getting paid at all. And they're doing the smart thing, going on to the indie scene. Maybe they're going to see if they can get into NXT. That's the only way they're going to get into WWE's NXT. So, Rick, in my opinion, I think Magnus and Storm are kayfabing to just join this little faction. But I think Aries, Loki, and everybody else who legitimately left are just looking for better horizons.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Now, Gunner and Shaw said they were released because at the current time there was nothing else to be done. And we also know that there's a pause in tapings. Could they be released due to the pause in tapings and be brought back a couple weeks later when the tapings resume?
No, and I think in Gunner's case, they even put out a little press release that he's already taking independent bookings. He's done with TNA. He's definitely looking for better horizons. So Gunner's a very talented guy. So I'm hoping that NXT Triple H shows some brain cells and not that Neanderthal forehead, and have something going in there, and actually hire this guy. Because like I said, the TNA talent are good workers. They just need the right gimmick and the right push. So, let's face it, they have nothing to do. When Dixie Carter is literally begging Dolph Ziggler to come join TNA, what does that say about her current roster? Well, you guys are not good enough. He's better than all of you. I would look to try to keep my current roster and make something of them.
Well, before we get all to these releases, I want to ask you, what is your thought about the Jarretts coming back to TNA as Global Force Wrestling? Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? How do you see this working out?
I see it as a bad thing, but on the internet, they reckon that they're going to split TNA and Global Force down the middle and make it look like a Raw and a WCW Monday Night Wars situation where people are jumping from one to the other. Quite what Jeff Jarrett's getting out of that. I know what he's getting out of it. And I think Dixie Carter must be blind if she can't see what he's doing. He's going to rape all her staff, keep him himself, and then just drop her like a ton of bricks once he's got the people he needs. But according to the dirt sheets on the internet, they're going to do like a 50-50 split where wrestlers can go from one to the other and just under a single contract where they can work for whichever group they decide to work, and they can intermingle them. And I can't see that ever working for any company.
Okay. That pretty much leaves with Storm and Magnus. Now let's talk about the other people who's currently left, which is Gunner, Shaw, Loki, and Aries. What do you think about them leaving? Where do you see them heading to?
Down the toilet, I think. Like Joseph said, they're going to have to go on the indie circuit because there's nowhere else they can go because WWE won't touch them.
You don't think so? You don't think any of them who could be heading to the WWE NXT or NXT?
Wrong side of 30, I think.
All right. Well, while we're talking about the Jarretts, actually, Destination America was actually reportedly not happy with TNA. According to one article, it was always a Destination America representative, always on hand at the tapings, and they apparently had no clue that the Jarretts, both Jeff and Karen, who showed up at the tapings, and they would not be at the Impact Wrestling that night. According to the Wrestling Observer, the reps were upset by this. The actual word used in the article was pissed off. Andy, I'm going to go to you first. What do you think about this? Do you think this is a bad move by Dixie Carter not talking with Destination America, or do you think this is just the internet going amok?
No, I think if Dixie hasn't mentioned it to the people that are actually putting her product on the television, then she's very foolish, because you don't want to start pissing off people who are giving you TV time, whether she's paying for it or not. They're giving her free time, and television companies like to know what they're giving their free or their time to. They like to know the ins and outs of everything. They want to know almost down to the split second what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. And suddenly Jeff and his father Jarrett walk on the set, and people are thinking, hold on a minute, that's just like Vince McMahon sitting on the front row. People are going to start thinking, what's going on?
Yeah, I think that, the fact that Dixie's just going to bring people on their show and not tell, but I mean, Joe, let me ask you, this is her show. Why would she have to tell people over at Destination America who's coming onto their show?
Well, don't forget, it's her show, but she gets the time from the network. So the network has to monitor what type of product you're producing. So in this case, if they say, hey, I would like to know what the hell's going on, they have an absolute right to do so. They need to know what's going on, because what if you decide to bring a stripper on your program? You need to know.
Oh, okay. I think the Jarretts are not stripper unless the Karen Jarrett starts stripping.
But here's the point is, you need to keep the people who allow you on their network, okay? In light of everything, they need to know what the hell's going on. So in this case, I'm sure when they found out, hey, wait a minute, you're letting a guy and his wife, who's technically your competitor, who runs a company, who's about to debut, on your show, and you didn't run this scenario by us. You have a right to be mad. That's like Vince McMahon, allowing somebody to just get on their product and, like, hey, well, you know what? I'm not going to tell the locker room that I'm allowing Eric Bischoff or Dixie Carter into my locker room.
Well, okay, let me say this. Because the thing that's kind of confusing me on that one is I'm wondering if Destination America is a little bit more upset. The fact is that they feel this is kind of a jab at ROH that just recently came on their network.
No, well, here's the thing, though. It's one thing that you have ROH on the same network. That was probably agreed upon, okay? The thing is, here is Jeff Jarrett, a person who literally said that he was going to be, that he's literally gave so much bad press regarding TNA. He was going to do a whole bunch of stuff, and here he is waiting to do, literally be your competitor. I'm guessing TNA, these, Destination America saying, wait a minute, now you're bringing someone who's going to destroy your product, or someone that's going to take over your product. We didn't bargain for this. We asked for TNA, not Global Force. And if anybody saw Crapaversary, that's all that everybody said. Global Force this, Global Force that. And when they arrived on, even prior to that, when they arrived on Impact, and here is Global Force, owner and founder Jeff Jarrett, that doesn't make any sense. The network was probably caught off guard, and Dixie and her, not having too many brain cells thought it would be a good idea to let this happen. So, again, you need to inform your network on what you're absolutely doing. Andy, I don't know, for example, for the Most Haunted series, if you were allowed to put up certain things or not put up certain things that was acceptable for the network, but you always have to advise your station. Dixie had to do the same thing, and again, why are you letting your competitor on your product, and then running with a storyline without informing anybody? I think that's what Destination America's more pissed off that she didn't. She did it before, I think, with Vince Russo. Spike didn't like that. Now she's doing it with Jeff Jarrett on Destination America. She is burning bridges, and that's going to bite her.
Yeah, when the Most Haunted guys had their show, which is an entirely different show, but the scenario will be exactly the same, even though it was like our show and we picked the venues, we picked the cast of people that would be there, and all the storylines and so on and so forth, we had to produce it as a package or present it as a package 4 or 5 months before and say, this is what we want to do, and they would go things and say, you can't do that, or you can't say this, or you can't do this, or you can't do that, because at the end of the day, it's their product, and if you're watching TNA on the TV, you're not going to contact TNA, you're going to contact Spike TV, because they are hosting it on their show. So the shit will stop with the people who are producing the show. So hence, they should know everything that goes on. If they don't, that is a good way of pissing people off. A real good way. It's like another scenario. Let's say the average person listening to this show has got a 9-to-5 job working in Walmart. Suddenly, you decide to take your wife to work because she's bored of sitting at home. You don't tell your boss. Is he going to be very happy when he finds your wife sitting in the canteen? First thing he's going to think is, who the hell is she? And who's given her permission to come in the canteen? That's basically what they've done. Jeff Jarrett has tried to get on television. They've obviously knocked him back. And then, next thing they know, hold on a minute, the guy's here. He's in the studio. What's going on?
And another thing, Rick, here is an individual who is, again, we're down to him being your competitor. He's now on your product. How that doesn't make it really. Now, what is he doing? Is he going to take some of your time for his product? Is he going to steal Destination America time or share it with TNA? What is he doing? Is he going to take money away from TNA to fund his own company and do some sort of invasion angle? All these things have to be mapped out before they can even get on air with it. And apparently Dixie went by the credo, it's better to forgive than to ask permission. So
well, that's what's the thing, is because she announced that he's going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. I'm wondering, that's why I'm almost wondering if this rumor that's been posted is more of just that, a rumor, because let's be honest, earlier this weekend we heard about Awesome Kong and Taryn Terrell leaving, and that was nothing more than a rumor. So, could this be a rumor that the Destination America rep was pissed? That's what I'm inclined to believe.
The only thing I'd be a bit worried about is if it's not a rumor and it is true, then Dixie Carter is a bigger retard than I actually gave her credit for, because you just don't shit on a company that are actually putting your product on the television. You just don't do it. It's just not the done thing. And if she's that stupid to do it, I can see Jeff Jarrett. I know what a scumbag Jeff Jarrett is just by watching interviews that I've seen him in and other people talking about him. And if that bloke can see an easy way to nick somebody else's product, he'll do it. And if she's daft enough, invite him along and say, come in, Mr. Jarrett, come and help us, because we'll be competing against you in a couple of months' time, but come and see how we do it now, because we've changed. And he's just going to go in there and take all the talent. I can put that down to when I used to work in the pottery industry. in the UK, the pottery industry was a massive industry. They let the Japanese tourists, as we thought they were, come in, take photographs, write serial numbers down off machines, and before we know where we are, they are producing pottery at half the price we were, and all the UK companies went out of business. Not a good idea, inviting your so-called competitors, see how you do stuff.
And we could also think about this. If this is a rumor, Destination America could have been like, sure, let's bring them in. Because obviously, now they have 3 wrestling organizations on this show. And they can always say, okay, fine, now it'll be which one's the best, and to kick the 2 off.
That's what Jeff Jarrett's hoping for. He's got his foot in the door now, which he didn't have 6 months ago.
Absolutely. And you know what? All the more reason why it was a big mistake for Dixie Carter. So, not only is the ship sinking, but now she's got 2 weights on her shoulder. So, with that, guys, I think we're going to wrap this one up. So, of course, we want to know your thoughts. Was this a good idea to bring was this a great idea to bring Global Force Wrestling into TNA, or was it a bad idea? Some people say it's a great television. Yeah, it's going to be great television for wrestling fans, but is it a good idea for Dixie Carter? Put those comments in the comment section below, and please make sure you follow us over at Facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Joe, where can everyone find you at?
Well, fans can find me on my Twitter account at JKnightCWA. They can find me on Facebook at Facebook.com Joseph Knight Manager. They can also follow me, the CWA, the Classic Wrestling Association, on our website at ClassicWrestlingAssociation.com. We're also on Facebook at Facebook.com Classic Wrestling Association. And check out our YouTube page, which I'm going to bring up, is CWA Pro. So, fans, like us, and I hope you follow us.
And, of course, we have my sidekick. He's my partner. He is the son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, where can everyone find you at?
Yeah, you can find me at www.stokehaunted.com, where you'll find links to Facebook, Twitter, whatever else there is, Pinterest, whatever other social media networking things there is. But one final thing before I go, I've got to mention about this Dixie Carter thing. It's like Dixie Carter's been given a brand new ship when she invites Captain Smith to steer it for her. Captain Smith, by the way, is the guy who sailed the Titanic.
Well, for everyone here, I'm your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying, look out!
Man the lifeboat! She's about to sink again.
Did you order ice in your drink, Dixie?
We'll see you when we see you.
Thank you for listening to this edition of In the Moment. Make sure you follow us at any one of our locations, whether it's YouTube, Dailymotion, and now SoundCloud.com under the name HWR Show. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.